Where's my recording? There it is. TBT in the 5th game of our KSL Clanwar between oGs and NSH, old generations against NSH. At the bottom left of Daybreak, we have Sting. He was able to take down 4 players already. This guy is just playing so well today. He annihilated Illusion. He beat Inca. He was able to take on for GG, and I forgot who the 4th player was. I will probably remember it in just a second. It was the 2nd player that he faced. It was Lovesick, exactly, on Belcher Beach. So he defeated 4 of oGs players, and we have the STC now. The STC is the next player that is thrown against him. And the STC played, I mentioned it today, we already had a clan war and the GSTL for oGs. They played Xenex and they won the clan war, but they had a really hard time doing so. Most people, including me, thought that oGs would just obliterate Xenex, but it turned out that they had a couple of really decent Protoss players, and they made oGs put in a lot of effort in order to take home the clan war. The STC was one of the players that was pinned against next stream, and he didn't win the game. So now he has the chance to redeem himself in the KSL. He has the chance to take down Sting and maybe end the winning streak of the NSH player. At the bottom left in the red colors, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sting, and at the top right his opponent. At the top right we have the STC. oGs, the STC, a man with a lot of letters in his name, a lot of abbreviations. So another Terran versus Terran, and this is going to be quite the interesting match, especially because there's just so much evolving around it. It's not only the game itself, but it's the situation in the clan war, which is kind of ridiculous. I would have never thought that NSH would be able to just win 4 games straight with their first player, with Sting as the opening player. This guy is playing really impressive today, and they still have a lot of really good players up their sleeves. I mean, we are talking about players like Jakchi. So let's see if oGs is able to take home this clan war, but if so, then one of their players has to put in some really valiant effort now in order to accumulate some points. This is going to be a tough one. We have a Terran versus Terran once again. This is Daybreak, ladies and gentlemen, and we already have, well, the factory is being built. We have oGs, the STC, with the barracks and the tech lab, and in the main base of his opponent, that's the 111 build. Right there, he has 1 gas, not getting a 2nd gas just yet, so we won't see cloaked banshees. The cloak upgrade definitely something that we're not going to see, but the STC, on the other hand, he is trying to get a really fast starport with the add-on. He's even building the add-on already on the tech lab so that he can switch over and right when the factory finishes, start with the starport, and that will give him the chance to get a really early Banshee, but he doesn't have enough gas to start with the cloak as well. But the Banshee, here we go, being built right now, and his opponent's base, we have a bunch of Marines, nothing all too fancy, but also a Banshee for Sting. And Sting did a really good job with the attack that we saw him use earlier, with a bunch of Marines, with Hellions, and of course the Banshee that did so much damage to oGs Finn. Maybe he's trying to use a similar strategy in this particular game. A small attack with a 111 build and then the transition into his expansion, but for now none of those 2 players is actually trying to throw down a command center. We have both of them just getting a bunch of additional units. The STC is playing a similar style and is going right into 1 Viking. The Viking will help him a lot when it comes down to defeating the Banshee. So quick look at the Xanaga Watchtower, 1 occupied by Sting, the other one by the STC. No, actually it's not, there was only the Banshee passing by that I saw on the minimap. But, oh, I think he missed all those units. And the Banshee already on its way back so far. It looks like Sting is going to be the aggressor in this game. He's already walking up that ramp, and yes, the Hellions are in trouble, but the Banshee is present for the STC, and he also has a Viking, and that Viking is doing a really good job. The Marines are dead, and now the Viking has a free reign to kill the Banshee. Not quite able to take it down, but Sting has to retreat for now. He has to retreat, and his own Viking is now just trying to take charge. Viking against Viking battle, and from the looks of it, Sting will come out ahead, as the STC's air units already took a little bit of damage. But on the other hand, Sting with one Banshee down to 20 hit points. Finally an expansion for one of these two battles. Actually, both of them are trying to get in a command center now, but STC is building it right at the mineral line, while Sting is now building it in the main base, so a little bit more of a risk for the STC, but he's kind of comfortable with it, and at the same time, obviously, he will be able to harvest minerals a little bit faster. Wow, nice, very, very nice run by, delaying that expansion a bit, not just able to get into the main base, but now his units are kind of trapped. He's forced to fight, but if those Marines are actually getting killed, but no, it doesn't look like the Banshee is going to do any damage at all. Sting is still able to take on a lot of units of the STC, and when we just compare the resources lost, Sting lost a lot more resources than his opponent. He did a fair amount of damage. He's a little bit ahead when it comes down to the harvester count, but now the STC with more aggression. He's trying to get towards his opponent's main base. 4 kills already on the Banshee, and in the back we have a bunch of Marines. They don't have combat shield just yet, so with only 2 hits, the STC can take down a Marine, and with a little bit of decent hit and run, he should be able to do some damage. But the Viking, he will lose the Viking battle. If he is continuously running into the Marines, then he will definitely lose the Viking battle. 55 against 52 supply, and a lot of barracks queued up now for Sting. He is playing bio in this game. The last time he was focusing a little bit more on his mech units, but this time he is completely playing a bio style, while we have the 3rd base for the STC. He's starting right away with another command center and is already mining from 2 bases, as is Sting. Kind of nice opening, both players just trying to get a little bit aggressive, not all that greedy on Daybreak, which is a little bit unusual. The standard play on Daybreak involves a very, very early expansion, but this time both of them just try to be a little bit more aggressive about it, trying to catch their opponent off guard, maybe get a couple of SCV kills in there, and so far they kind of traded evenly. We have 76 against 69 supply on the STC, in a small lead when it comes down to his economy because of his 3rd base that he doesn't use just yet. And we have the combat shield not done for Sting, not even started, but his opponent is halfway, well, not halfway, but maybe he researched like a 1/3 of it, and now getting the +1 attack upgrade as well. The SEC now, in terms of his harvester count, at 38 against 43, still a small advantage for Stinger in the SCV count, but with the 3rd base and the 3rd mule, therefore the income of STC is looking quite peachy. Another try to get into a good position on the side of the map, and this command center needs to be careful, but the army is coming in from behind, and oh my god, what just happened? Sting didn't pay any attention at all to what happened, did he? He lost his whole force. His entire army was just killed, everything was obliterated, and he lost 3,100 resources already in this game, and the STC is now even in supply with his opponent, and is able to get this 3rd base into position. All the Marines just took down the tanks and everything that Sting had, and in this game it's actually looking not really too good for our red Terran player that has won so many games already in this clan war and was able, well, he'll definitely get free barbecue the next time the NSH team is going to one of the Korean restaurants. You can bet on that, but still, double engineering bay now being built, and keep in mind that at this point in time we already have the +1 attack upgrade about to be completed for the STC, and now Sting is just adding his engineering base, while we already have a 3rd base now for the STC, so he will get farther and farther ahead when it comes down to his economy, but he is lacking harvesters a tiny little bit. He's behind with like 7 harvesters, but he has the ability now to build 3 harvesters at a time. Another small drop on the top. Harvesters and Vikings. I don't know exactly what he killed, just a scouting unit apparently. Maybe even... No, something mechanical. I don't know. Did he even kill the Banshee? Might have been able to take the Banshee out and catch it off guard. But already a supply lead for the STC. As you can see, we have 120 supply against 113. 1-1 being queued up, while the STC is now just... well, he doesn't research the armor upgrade just yet, but he's getting the second engineering bay and the armory too. So... let's have a quick look at the unit counting station. 38 Marines against 50. Huge lead for the STC when it comes down to the Bioforce. 4 to 5 tanks and a lot more medivacs for the Terran player in the blue. And here's another engagement about to happen. Retreating for now. Sieging up. Therefore delaying that push a bit. Harvester count is 46 against 54. I have to say that the SAC is neglecting his SCV production quite a bit. He's not producing all that many harvesters, and he has he didn't build any in the last minute, and he definitely should build a lot more SCVs now, because he has to saturate 3 bases. He's finally trying to get a couple of additional SCVs, but with only 46 SCVs on 3 bases, that's not enough even with the mule advantage. So that's a little bit weird. He could be even farther ahead as he is, but Sting now with a 3rd base on his own, while the SCC is getting now +1 armor and +2 attack, and of course also the siege mod upgrade. He was lagging a little bit behind when it came down to it. The rocks are getting destroyed, and therefore a new path opened between the 2 bases, which is really nice on Daybreak. There's a small drop, well, not really a small drop, that's actually a pretty big drop, into the main base. Oh, nice position, but the tanks, 2 of them are already cleaned out. Is he able to get to the tanks? That's the main question. Look at the harvesters. He's killing a lot of them. Maybe he should have just focused on the army of his opponent. That drop didn't do anything, and there's another attack at the bottom, and look how STC is just steamrolling everything that Sting has. He is losing every single unit. Resources lost 7,700 to 4,700. The STC is playing just so much better right now. His decision making is superior to Sting's, and he is just that drop didn't do anything. That drop didn't do anything. It just destroyed Sting because he was not able to fight against his opponent's army with full force. He had half of his army in his opponent's main base and started to focus down the SCVs, which didn't work all too well. And this expansion is doomed. Oh, he needs to focus it down though. No, he doesn't. He is going straight towards the 2nd base, towards the natural. There is 1 tank. That's all there is. 1 tank. That's all he's got. And the GG of Sting. He did a very good job this game, but oGs, the STC, is definitely a little bit too strong this game. So finally a point for Team Old Generations. Let's see who's going to be the next player for NSH.